20 minutes it reads. Right. I know that I have nothing else really to say, and I'm still playing Quentin's game. I'm still like emailing people. I'm emailing divorce lawyers. I don't know, I don't know. I'm feeling hypodermic needles in my neck, like all these things. I just don't know how he can want to live the way that he's been living anymore. I know that that's like that's really what it's about. That's what it was about. I do see that he wanted to initiate me to give the women in his life balance. Like I do like see that, and I couldn't see that, and I'm ashamed. I am. Above all, I'm ashamed. But when I think about the 150 people, right, that all filed suit against Harvey Weinstein, it feels pretty disgusting and vulgar to me. Like when I think about like the two of them working together, that Harvey would make plans and say, "Oh, I want you to meet me in my hotel room at this time," and Quentin's just like blasting him the whole time. That's the sickest fucking thing that anyone can imagine. Like it's so disgusting where they're getting assaulted in person by Harvey, right? And then in their minds, right, by Quentin saying, "Oh, do it." Quentin, right? Doing everything he can to like make them come so that they like get something out of it. It is. It's like really sick, it's really disgusting, and I know that that's like that the women weren't like okay with that. That they weren't okay with it anymore. They weren't okay with what it represented professionally, sexually, personally, spiritually, emotionally, metaphysically. Right? That they wanted to decide who was actually like penetrating them. And so of course the only man that they wanted to do it with can't be controlled by Quentin as a psychic. That's the point. Right? And so he was faced in that instant, he's still faced with it, with a real existential crisis, right? Do I give these women, right? Do I legitimately stop objectifying women and stop manipulating them with my mind power, right? Or, right, do I declare to them definitively, right, your mind doesn't mean anything, right, that you actually don't get a say in who penetrates you, especially on my film set. And I think that that's illegal. I think that that's like a disgusting tactic that they have no way of defending against, right, that they have no way of, of justifying anymore. Right? And so, right, I suppose now would be the time when I like reached out to Jennifer Lawrence and said, like when you did what you did with Harvey Weinstein, did you feel an undue pressure in your mind to continue? Like, did you feel that you were being coerced inside as well as outside? And this is like where we're at, and that's not to mention that I had a law firm get back with me and say, "Oh, it's a business decision." Like, what does that say? That tells you everything you need to know, right? That there might be some merit to your case, but we don't have the resources to continue. And so you need to find other representation. And so my phone's going to be dying soon, but I'm going to stop. I just, I'm living in this perpetual like haze of anxiety, like him just terrorizing me constantly, like making me feel like there's assassins around every corner, making me feel like I have no control in my life, that like I'm just constantly manipulated by all of my heroes. And I know that, right? I know that he's deeply troubled. I do know that that he's miserable, and I want him to feel well, but he has to make his peace with it. He has to Well, he has to be okay with it, in this way, and we're all in it together. Like I've showed him a bunch of things that he can do as a clairvoyant, right? That doesn't mitigate it, right? It is still a genuine contribution, but it can't be. I exercise my mind as a psychic overlord over any of you. Like that's not what it is anymore. None of us do that. We all exercise our minds collectively to make us all feel good. you know and so this is right, this is what I couldn't see as a result of my celibacy, and I have nothing but regrets over it. I should have just been cool, not to fuck all the fine ass women, but for my family, to help my mother pay off her house, to help my sister, right, be able to take care of her kids without having to worry about money constantly. Like those are the things that, right, family, right. And so, right, he was thinking about family, right, but only insofar as, oh, if I can manipulate this man's mind, I'll let him join my family, right? And so I can't operate that way. I don't think that that's prudent or wise to invite me into your family under such conditions. That's why I left, because like the divine light inside of me said, no, there needs to be like more transparency. There needs to be a better understanding of like what this represents. Right, and I understand Hollywood's position as far as the movie, right? Like I don't have to be in the movie, right? But what I'm saying is that if these women feel objectified, if they feel that they're being terrorized, if they feel that they have no agency in their lives, right? It's incumbent upon all of us, right, to help Quentin get the help that he needs. Something to consider.